Lesson 8, currency exchange. So when you're exchanging currency between different countries, the bank buys and sells that for you. So when you're buying from the bank, there's a certain rate, and when you sell it back to the bank, it's usually a lower rate because a bank is also a business. So if they're doing that currency exchange, they are making money off of it. So Lucas is traveling to the United States. Before he leaves, he converts 500 Canadian into American dollars. If 1 Canadian dollar is worth 0.94192 of an American dollar, how much American dollars will Lucas receive in exchange for $500? So we know 1 Canadian dollar is worth 0.94192 American. We put USD. You have 500 Canadian and you want to find X. So you're just going to cross multiply and divide. So you have 500 times 0.94192 divide by 1, and you should get $470.96 USD. It's really important to notice which one is worth more. So because the Canadian dollar needs more to be worth as much as a US dollar, the US dollar is worth more money. It doesn't look like it's worth more because the Canadian dollar number is higher, but because you're buying it, and when you exchange it, you start with 500 and then you only get 470. That 470 isn't worth as much. Or that Canadian money wasn't worth as much in American because you needed less American dollars to make 500 Canadian dollars. We know that 1 Thai baht is 0.023541 Canadian dollars. So just looking at this, we know that the Canadian dollars is worth more because you need more bahts to make a Canadian dollar. So that's like saying that you're going to the store and you're buying pop and chips. Buying 2 chips is the same as buying 1 thing of pop. So you know the pop is worth more because it's a higher value. You need 2 of the other one to get to the 1. That was a terrible example. 1 Thai baht is worth 0.02354. We want to figure out how many bahts a tourist will receive for 200 Canadian dollars. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we have 200 times 1 divided by 0.023541, and you get 8,495 and 82 bahts. So if you think about it like this, I would rather have 8,000 Canadian dollars than 8,000 bahts because you know that it would have a higher value. Example 3. Anne works for an automotive parts distributor and visits Switzerland to source new products. On a given day, the bank's selling rate compared to the Canadian dollar is 1.0501. So 1 Canadian dollar is 1.0501 francs. The buying rate is 1 Canadian dollar to 1.0213 francs. So A, how many Swiss francs would Anne receive for $400? So if you are buying from the bank, you're using the buying rate because you're buying. So we use 1 Canadian dollar is 1.0213 francs. We're buying $400 worth. So we go over X, cross multiply, and divide. So we have 400 times 0.0213. So we're left with $408.52. So this would be in francs. I don't know what sign they use. I've never been to Switzerland. Okay, now and sells them back to the bank. So she just changed her mind. Just kidding. I need to sell those back to get the Canadian dollars right now. So she's going to sell them to the bank. So 1 Canadian dollar is 1.0501. And we have, this time, we have 408 and 52 francs over X. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we're going to go 408.52 divided by 1.0501 to get $389.03. So that's how much Canadian she has. Now we want to figure out how much she lost. So because she started with 400 and she ended up with 389.03, she ended up losing $10.97, so about $11. So that's how much the bank would have made on that exchange. So be careful when it says buying and selling. Buying always means that you're buying. Selling means the bank, you're selling it to the bank.